Good evening and welcome to Blueprint Explosive Exclusive. I'm Madhavdas G. Ladies and gentlemen, after Pakistan carried out an infiltration bid in the Poonch sector after a ceasefire violation, India has given a befitting reply and foiled the sinister plot. Times Now has exclusively accessed videos where Pakistan terrorist launch pads were destroyed, and the Pakistan army has suffered heavy casualties. The Pakistan Border Action Team carried out the cross-border attack. While responding to the attack, the Indian Army soldiers killed 5 Pakistan Army personnel. Let's quickly take a look at some of these exclusive visuals that are up on the screen over here. If you can see, these are the pictures of what has transpired. And in fact, you can see very clearly how India has given a befitting reply. In several of these pictures, you can see that there are several soldiers who are beating a hasty retreat and in fact are trying to take one of their injured comrades with them back across the LAC into Pakistan. This is clearly the visual. India giving a befitting reply to Pakistan. And you can see very clearly over here how under the cover of fire, they attempted to enter Indian territory but were pushed right back. Let's listen into the audio as well in these visuals. US Times Now has also accessed exclusive details that expose Pakistan's sinister plot to destabilize India. Pakistan has not only been pushing terrorists from across the border, but is also engaging in a digital warfare. Let's take a look at the different applications that are now being used by Pakistan-based terror groups and what are they used for. The first thing that we're talking about is the social media apps that Pakistan is using. We're looking at various apps that include WhatsApp, of course, but there's also Threema, Discord, Tam and Telegram that are being used. These are the social media apps that are used. They are trying to create unrest in Kashmir as well as Punjab. The motive is to brainwash and guide the youth in the name of jihad. That's the information that we are being given. Also, radicalizing youth is one of the motives. They are also attempting to provide training to the recruited youth through these channels. The information on terror groups has been circulated through these various channels, and thereby they are attempting to influence youth here in India. Let's take this across to our colleague Pradeep Datta, who's joining us. Pradeep, big story that you've broken over here. Not only have we accessed the visuals that show how the Indian army has pushed back Pakistan, which tried to enter the Indian territory, but also this report of the intelligence agency shows how, in fact, different social media apps are being used by Pakistan to influence youth here in India. Pradeep.
Yes, Madhav, you're absolutely right. In fact, if we talk about the video, we have seen that how from the Krishna Ghati sector, Pakistan was planning to carry out a bat attack, but that was foiled by the Indian forces. We have seen that after that the bat attack was foiled, they resorted to firing from Pakistan's side, and India gave them a befitting reply in which 5 Pakistani soldiers were killed. And in this video, you can see how they're lifting their comrades and taking them towards a safer place. But 5 soldiers lost their lives and more than 10 were injured in this attack. And if we talk about this intel report, the intel report clearly indicates that Pakistan is not only confining their activity to pushing on terrorists into this side of the border, either through line of control or international border, but they're also resorting to digital warfare. The idea behind the digital warfare is, one, to portray India in bad light, project India in bad light, and also they are trying to indoctrinate and brainwash youngsters so that they can lure them to gun culture, because we have seen that through this medium, they had been trying to radicalize youngsters, they are trying to make them join terror ranks, and they are using, as you rightly said, they are using Threema web, because earlier they used to be dependent only on WhatsApp, Signal or Telegram. But now they are resorting to Threema web because they feel this is the more safer and medium. Besides this, they are also using Tam and Discord also. And these organizations like TRF, which is considered to be proxy, they are the one who have resorted to this digital warfare. Then there is a PF, that the People Army Against the Fastest Movement. And then we have got organizations like Mujahideen. And even they are trying to revive Jammu and Kashmir Liberation Front. But not only that.
But the point is this, that they have not been successful thus far, Pradeep. This is the motive of Pakistan. I'm going to request you to stay on with us because we're going to break another part of this particular intelligence report which reveals more shocking details. And viewers, stay with us because there's more updates that Pradeep is going to be bringing to us. But let's quickly take this across to our guests and discuss what really we are discussing at the moment. We have with us our guest. Joining us with us is Major General G.D. Bakshi. We also have Sushant Sareen, who is with us as a senior fellow of the ORF. Faraz Saeed, a Pakistan journalist, is with us. We also have Dr. Irshad Ahmad Khan, who's a PMLN leader. Let me start with you first, Major General G.D. Bakshi. The big question is that this is not entirely surprising. The visuals show how India has been able to thwart that attempt by Pakistan, and even, we know how India has managed to kill several of those Pakistan soldiers who attempted to shield or give cover fire for that infiltration bid. But what really we are seeing over here is how technology is clearly being misused here by Pakistan to attempt to brainwash and influence youth here in India.
You know, in General Bajwa's time, he had requested the Indian army for a ceasefire on the line of control because he was getting the worst of it. He wanted at that time to focus on Afghanistan because they were planning to, get the Taliban into power in Kabul, and they thought with that they would gain their strategic depth, that they would lord it over Afghanistan thereafter. It's another matter that they have gotten quite a shock in Afghanistan. And the fact is that at long last, we have given up on this very ridiculous ceasefire, very one-sided ceasefire, which they were exploiting to, try and infiltrate terrorists across and damage India. India started hitting back, and the bite is showing. We've killed 5 of their, people attempting terrorists and bat action. They have been destroyed, killed, buried underground. There'll be more and more of this as the time goes along, because this ceasefire has lasted too long. It was a very ridiculous decision that we couldn't fathom as to why we had given Pakistan so much loose rope. When any time it is given loose rope, it tries and exploits to try and infiltrate people across. Apropos the use of the apps, yes, they have been using it. They keep wearing this so that they can get their message across, they can contact their OGWs. But the Indian Army is now one step ahead of them, and these messages are getting intercepted. And you can see the results in terms of the kills that we are scoring on the line of control and in its immediate hinterland.
Okay, Faraz Saeed, both aspects that we have been discussing over here. One is, of course, the attempt by Pakistan to infiltrate. It has been clearly thwarted by Indian Army, and you can see how the Pakistan armed forces are running back with one of their injured soldiers in tow, as you can see from those pictures over here. And number two, clearly these attempts to misuse technology to influence youth are not working on ground. Your response, Faraz?
I mean, there has been reports, even published by Pakistan news channels, that there has been some kind of fire exchange on the line of actual control, and this occurred after there was a sudden IED blast. I fail to understand. No party gets to win from any kind of chaos or crisis on the border, but I see that whenever there's a political chaos in India, in New Delhi, there is a rise in border clashes. So there's kind of correlation between Indian political drama and...
But why would Pakistan Army then want to venture onto the Indian side, sir? Who's trying to take advantage of the politics over there?
I fail to understand how is there any correlation, because if the researchers would do any kind of research or study...
No, you are making the correlation, not me. You just said when there's the political activity, you see skirmishes at the border. My question to you, therefore, is that what does Pakistan Army gain out of venturing into India? Because they will only get a bloody nose and perhaps, casualties on their side.
Well, that's my question. That's my question as well. What is either of the side trying to gain? Nothing. Nothing. Neither the Pakistani side nor the Indian side. Whenever there's a skirmish, nothing. Nobody gains out of it. Nobody gains out of it. However,
Sushant, would you like to respond to that? Because it's great to, take the moral high ground, sit on a high horse. But what Pakistan does on ground is, I think, very well known to all.
So, Madhav, a couple of things. Number one, I'm a little surprised that Faraz talks about political confusion in India. There's no political confusion in India. If at all there is political confusion, it's there in Pakistan. they have two provinces which are up in arms against the Pakistani state. There is political uncertainty within Pakistan. You have an unelected government which had lost the election, which has been foisted onto Pakistan by the Pakistan army. Apparently, by most analysts, they had won about 25 seats, and yet they had been gifted other seats which had been won by other parties. A government without legitimacy is running the country from Islamabad. It's a puppet regime, a rubber stamp regime. All laws are made by the GHQ in Pakistan, and the parliament just rubber stamps them. So if there is political confusion, it's there in Pakistan. It's not there in India, number one. Number two, the Pakistanis have been trying to ratchet up tensions in Kashmir for a fair bit of time. Now, I agree with Faraz that, look, ceasefire is not entirely in India's favor and not entirely in Pakistan's favor, but it serves the interests of both countries if borders are calm. But the Pakistanis have routinely tried to, as General Bakshi said, tried to use this ceasefire to try and send in some of their terrorists into India. Now, clearly, that's not a tenable proposition as far as India is concerned. Now, if Pakistan wants to try out this ceasefire and wants to open up the front in Kashmir once again, I don't think India is going to shed any tears, simply because if we ratchet up the tension significantly on the eastern front with Pakistan, it divides the Pakistan army at a time when you have Balochistan up in arms and Balochistan against the domination of Punjab and the Punjabi colonial policies in Balochistan being followed, and you have the TTP insurgency in KP. When you have that and you have a brewing rebellion in Sindh coming up because of Punjab trying to snatch away the water of Sindh, it serves us perfectly well to, have a very active front in Kashmir. You get Pakistan caught up, divide its forces.
Okay.
So, but
let me, in fact, Dr. Irshad Ahmed Khan, let me just come in now. Dr. Irshad Ahmed Khan, coming to you, but there's some more details that Pradeep is breaking for us. And in fact, this is the information coming in from that particular report, because it's not just an attempt to create unrest in Jammu and Kashmir as well as Punjab, but Pakistan also attempting to play a role as far as fueling tensions in other parts of Asia are concerned. In Afghanistan, young madrasa students being recruited by Pakistan's ISI, the guys under the pretext of jihad in Pakistan is what we are told. Similarly, the Pakistan military camps over there that are run by the army, political and monetary aid also has been raised. And in Nepal, the hub for secret agencies of Pakistan is what is reported. There's an active ISI network that's present over there, and that's been known, in fact, for quite some time now. Bangladesh, where there are deep ties of ISI with radical groups and the increasing ties of the current regime also under question over there. Frequently, ISI flags have been used on vehicles there in Bangladesh. Terrorists prepare to carry out attacks on India is the information coming in. A shocking bit of information there. Bangladesh army working closely with ISI is what we are told. And Operation Devil Hunt to target Sheikh Hasina's aides is what is currently underway in Bangladesh as well. Let's go across to Pradeep Datta. Pradeep, it is the attempts by Pakistan to try and foment trouble, not just in India, but also in India's neighborhoods, using other proxies to spread terror on Indian soil.
Yes, Madhav, you're absolutely right. First, let me talk about the Operation Devil Hunt, because recently, just 1.5 months back, we've seen that ISI chief was in Bangladesh because they want to have a pre-1971 situation where they had more footprints in Bangladesh, because after 1971 war, they hardly had any footprints in Bangladesh. So what they're trying to do, they're trying to once again, with the help of the Bangladeshi government, to have their footprints. And the second, they have started Operation Devil Hunt. The Devil Hunt is basically they are trying to target all those people who are said to be close aid of Sheikh Hasina, and all those people who really want a good and better relationship with India rather than being with Pakistan, because they have already seen what really happened in 1971 when Pakistan had launched Operation Searchlight, where when they wanted to curb Bengali nationalism and many of the women were raped and hundreds of thousands of people were killed. So people have not forgotten that thing. So what actually now they're trying to do, they have launched this Operation Devil Hunt. If we talk about Nepal, because already Nepal has become the hub of ISI activities, where they are trying to tap some of those sources and resources that can help them to turn their barrel towards India. And if we talk about the Afghanistan, because already we have seen that there is a tension going on between Taliban and Pakistan, but still they have managed to get boys from the madrasas, taking them to the terror training camps, and they are trying to turn their balance towards
all right.
Taliban.
Thanks so much for that, Pradeep. Those
use the
3
same
countries
people
that
for-
are being misused by ISI, or at least their agents, to try and turn their guns on India. Let's quickly take this back to our guest. With us is Dr. Irshad Ahmed Khan, who's the leader of PMLN. Irshad Ahmed Khan जी, पाकिस्तान ही नहीं है, लेकिन अफगानिस्तान, नेपाल, बांग्लादेश, इन सभी देशों का मिसयूज किया जा रहा है आईएसआई के द्वारा।
बहुत शुक्रिया। मैं आपसे अर्ज करूंगा, देखिए जो कुछ आप ये बोल रहे थे अभी, मैं जनरल बख्शी साहब को 3-4 रोज पहले भी सुन रहा था, ये कितने खौफजदा से मेरी नेवी फोर्स से, मेरी एयरफोर्स से, और ये कह रहे थे ऐसे ऐसे जहाज ले लिए हैं कि हिंदुस्तान 2 मिनट में मुकाबला नहीं कर सकेगा। ये आप लोगों की अपना चीख चिल्लाहट मैंने देखी लास्ट वीक जनरल बख्शी साहब की। दूसरी बात ये, आप इल्जाम लगाते हैं, लगाते रहिए, चूरन चटनी कश्मीर का बेचते हैं, बेचते रहिए, हमें कोई फर्क नहीं। अभी जो रिसेंटली आपको प्रॉब्लम है ना, वो प्रॉब्लम
चूरन चटनी क्या है सर इसमें?
सुनिए,
क्या चूरन चटनी क्या है इसमें? आप पाकिस्तान टेरर एक्सपोर्ट करती है और पाकिस्तान पूरे एशिया में अब टेरर एक्सपोर्ट करना चाह रही है। इकलौता प्रोडक्ट है जो आप बनाते हैं।
आधा मिनट
आपकी चूरन चटनी आप अपने पास रखिए।
सेकंड मुझे दीजिए, सिर्फ 30 सेकंड, मैं आपका चूरन बताऊंगा क्या है। अभी दूसरी बात मैं करने जा रहा था, देखिए आपको बांग्लादेश की भी तकलीफ है, आपको अपनी नानी अम्मा हसीना शेख हसीना की भी तकलीफ है। अब वो हाथ पांव मार रही है, लेकिन बंगाली उसको आने
सर तकलीफ बांग्लादेश से आपको ही होगी, क्योंकि आप ही को पता है कि आपके देश के 2 टुकड़े कैसे किए भारत ने, अभी तक आप भुला नहीं पाए लग रहा है।
बंगालियों
इतना दर्द आपको बांग्लादेश को लेकर अगर हो रहा है, तो आपको हिस्टोरिकल इतनी ज्यादा दर्द आपको हो रही है, तो आपको इनफैक्ट इंट्रोस्पेक्ट करना चाहिए। जनरल बख्शी, वुड यू लाइक टू रिस्पॉन्ड टू हिम? Because he seems to have forgotten all lessons in history and decency and decorum also for the matter.
डिसेंसी क्यों आप मुझे पूरा बोलने दें ना, मुझे।
हाँ तो तमीज से बात करिए सर, थोड़े इज्जत से बात करिए, तो आपसे इज्जत से बात किया जाएगा। बदतमीजी करेंगे तो हमें भी जवाब देना आता है।
नहीं, मैं बदतमीजी करूंगा तो
बिल्कुल सर, आप आराम से बात करिए, इज्जत से बात करिए। आप नेशनल टेलीविजन पे उसको ये अधिकार नहीं मिलता कि आप कुछ भी बोले।
आप कुछ भी बोलते रहे, आपका चैनल है, आप झूठ बोलते रहे।
बिल्कुल झूठ नहीं है सर, हमारे पास डॉक्यूमेंट्स है, इंटेलिजेंट रिपोर्ट्स है। आपके पास इंटेलिजेंस रिपोर्ट्स नहीं है, वो आपकी प्रॉब्लम है।
अरे आप चिल्लाना बंद करो तो कोई डिस्कशन डिबेट हो ना। चीखिए बात करिए।
आप डरते हैं मेरी आईएसआई से कि नहीं डरते?
आईएसआई मेरी आप तो ऐसे बात करते हैं जैसे कि हर कोई चीज आपके घर की प्रॉपर्टी है। वहाँ
मेरी आईएसआई है,
रहने दीजिए।
आईएसआई है।
देखिए ऐसा है कि जब आपने
अब आपने बोल लिया डॉक्टर इरशाद, अब जीडी बख्शी की बात सुनिए।
को ले आए थे तो आप तो वॉर डांस कर रहे थे कि ये हमको स्ट्रेटेजिक डेप्थ मिल गई, ये हमको जगह मिल गई, हम राज करेंगे तालिबान के ऊपर, जूते की नीचे तले रखेंगे तालिबान को। अब आपको तहरीके तालिबान पाकिस्तान और तालिबान जो अफगानिस्तान में है, दोनों ने मिलकर आपके होश हवास के फाख्ते उड़ा दिए। आपको समझ नहीं आ रही है कि जाएं तो जाएं कहां। आप बड़े खुश हो रहे थे जब बाइडेन साहब के काल में आईएसआई के साथ मिलकर, जमायत इस्लामी के साथ मिलकर आप लोगों ने वो अरब स्प्रिंग स्टेज किया था यहां ढाका में। अब बाइडेन साहब गए, अब आप दांत मत अपने दिखाइए, आपकी मुसीबत आने वाली है। और बांग्लादेश में मामला जो है, कितने देर रहेंगे आपके मोहम्मद चहेते मोहम्मद यूनुस साहब, वो भी अब गिनती की बात है, उल्टी गिनती उसकी शुरू हो गई है। हसीना वाजिद को आप गालियां दे रहे हैं, डोंट बी टू सरप्राइज्ड इफ शी इज बैक। ये आप लोग बड़े अपने हथकंडे करते हैं, फिर नाचना शुरू कर देते हैं कि हम जीत गए। पासा पलटते वक्त नहीं लगता इरशाद साहब, और पासा जल्दी पलटने वाला है
जी
सब जगह।
और इरशाद अहमद खान, आप स्क्रीन देख रहे हैं, आपको स्क्रीन दिख रहा, अगर इरशाद अहमद खान आपको साफ नजर आ रहा होगा किस तरह पाकिस्तान आर्मी को वापस भेज दिया गया, अपने साथियों को पकड़ के वापस दौड़ रहे हैं बॉर्डर की तरफ। ये है आपकी पाकिस्तान आर्मी।
मैं आपको इसका प्रूफ दूंगा। देखिए मुझे बोलने देते जनरल साहब, आप बहुत झूठ बोलते हैं बैठकर अपने चैनल पे। अगर इसको गुस्ताखी समझते हैं तो गुस्ताखी में
आप ऐसे कैसे बात कर सकते हैं?
मैं झूठ नहीं बोलने दूंगा, मैं झूठ पसंद नहीं करता हूं, मैं झूठ बोलता नहीं हूं, क्योंकि हमें सिखाया गया, हमारा मुआशरा है, हमें सिखाया गया कि हम झूठ नहीं बोलते,
आप बोलते हैं,
सच बोलते हैं। और हम सबको सामने देखिए लैंग्वेज पे गौर कीजिए। हम आपको, आप बुजुर्ग आदमी है, देखिए चले हुए
आपने इरशाद अहमद खान, इधर आकर जो जितना भी वक्त आपको दिया गया है उसका पूरा मिसयूज किया है, और अगर आप इधर आके अनसब्सटेंशिएटेड कमेंट्स इस तरह करते रहेंगे तो आपका बाकी वक्त भी लूंगा मैं।
क्योंकि
मैंने कोई बुराई नहीं की, मैंने गलत नहीं बोला।
बिल्कुल बुराई की। आप शेख हसीना को नानी बुला रही हैं, आप इंडियन एजेंसीज को सबको गाली दिए जा रहे हैं, जनरल जीडी बख्शी को जो काफी बुजुर्ग है उनको भी आप झूठा बता रहे हैं, और आप ही यहाँ पे सच्चे हैं पूरे पैनल में। हाँ,
जीडी बख्शी साहब नहीं, मैं ये कह रहा हूँ, देखें कुछ सच्ची बातें होती हैं, कुछ हकीकत होती है, कुछ झूठ पे
सच्ची बात दिख रही है सर। पाकिस्तान आर्मी कैसे भाग रही है इंडियन आर्मी के फायरिंग से, दिख रही है यहाँ पे सच्चाई। इसके बारे, इस सच्चाई के बारे में कुछ बताइए।
सुनिए,
बॉर्डर पे जो बीएटी की टीम ने कोशिश की, सबको भिजवा दिया वापस, इस पे बताइए ना, इस सच्चाई पे बताइए। सच बोलने का मन है ना आपका, सच बताइए इसके बारे में।
बोलने तो दें। आपने मुझे कहा कि नानी अम्मा कह रहा हूं मैं हसीना शेख को। देखें, जिसकी नानी है उसकी गोद में बैठी है या नहीं बैठी, अगर मेरी नानी होती पाकिस्तान आती।
ओह कम ऑन प्लीज इरशाद अहमद खान, इतने लो लेवल का डिबेट मैंने पाकिस्तान के गेस्ट से, मैंने बहुत लो लेवल के डिबेट्स देखे हैं, लेकिन आपसे लो लेवल के डिबेटर को मैंने आज तक नहीं देखा। सुशांत सरीन, यू नो इट्स अमेजिंग when confronted with reality, all they have is whataboutery, abuse. You know, just look at this man and his tongue. It's amazing to look at the person coming out there. No surprises, of course, that because he's singing peons of ISI as if they're some great spy agency of the world, whereas this is their reality.
Madhav, look, the party he represents, that's a party which has had some of the most obnoxious characters and some of the most abusive people in Pakistan's history. They are the ones, even before Imran Khan's party brought in abuse as a form of political lexicon, it was the PML Nawaz which brought this in. And frankly, for this third-rate fellow on your TV show, obnoxious person, to talk about a former head of government in Bangladesh in the kind of language he's using, it doesn't surprise me. It shows his terrible upbringing and what his parents must have taught him. But this is also the language which was used against Nawaz Sharif's daughter. This was used against Nawaz Sharif's daughter by none other than the man who is currently the chief minister of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. When he said that here she comes with, you know, her face plastered with all kinds of cosmetics, she's an old woman, she's a grandmother, insulting grandmothers, insulting women politicians, and at that point of time, low lives like this fellow on your TV show, you know, they went to paroxysms of rage, but they have no compunctions when they use similar language against other people, other women who are leaders of their own countries, who have mass following. He has no shame. So I don't expect anything better from a person with his, you know, looks, his upbringing, his background. I don't expect anything better. I think you should think much more before you bring low lives like him to your show.
Well, certainly not this individual. Certainly this individual will not find a place on my channel. I can guarantee you that, because this kind of language is completely unacceptable, even by the low standards that are set often by you know, people defending Pakistan and its rogue terrorist agencies like ISI. We'll have to leave it there. Major General GD Bakshi, Sushant Sareen, Faraz Saeed, and Dr. Irshad, thanks so much for joining us.